Today, I want to talk about something critical for our children's mental health, this being coping strategies. So, whether your child is facing everyday kind of stresses like a difficult task at school, or if it's something a little bit more of a significant challenge, and that could be moving to a new home, moving schools, or even changes in family dynamics. How they cope with these stresses can really shape their emotional well-being. So let's explore what healthy coping strategies are, how they differ from unhealthy ones, and why healthy coping strategies are so essential for your child's resilience. So first, let's break down the difference between healthy and unhealthy coping strategies. So healthy coping strategies help children to process their emotions and to problem solve effectively. So these might include talking about their feelings, asking for help, or engaging in activities that calm and ground them. So things like drawing, playing sports, or spending some time in nature, going for a walk, for example. On the other hand, unhealthy coping strategies during that middle childhood often look like avoidance, shutting down, or lashing out. You might notice a child withdrawing from social interactions. It could be that they are avoiding the difficult tasks, or even displaying sudden outbursts of anger or frustration. While these reactions might provide them a temporary relief, they actually don't help in the long run, and they can lead to more stress, anxiety, and even to low self-esteem or low confidence. The psychological impact of using healthy coping strategies is profound. So when children practice healthy ways of dealing with stress, they're not only learning how to handle the current situation, they're also building resilience. They begin to see challenges as something that they can manage, not something that it just overwhelms them. So this ability to be able to bounce back after tough situations, that is really the key to building that long-term emotional and mental well-being. Conversely, relying on unhealthy coping mechanisms like avoiding the challenges or bottling up emotions, these can lead to serious long-term negative effects. Children who don't learn how to manage stress healthily, they may struggle with anxiety, depression, and an inability to be able to deal with life's inevitable difficulties. As we get older, they may even start to experiment with other unhealthy coping strategies to help them to numb and avoid what they're feeling, such as drugs, alcohol, or even self-harm, because they've not actually learned to cope with the challenging emotions and the situations when they were younger. Now, we need to acknowledge here that situations become increasingly more complex and difficult as we grow up. So as your child continues to age, think of situations such as their first romantic relationship breakup, or being unsuccessful in obtaining their driver's licenses while all of their friends are succeeding to get their license and start driving. It might be juggling part-time work while they're studying. It might be the challenges of an increased study demands as they actually progress through their education. All of these are challenges that they will begin to experience as they keep developing. Now, the good news is that with the right support, we can help children to develop the tools that will serve them well throughout their lives. Let me give you some examples of how healthy coping can work in everyday situations. Imagine your child is feeling anxious about a disagreement they had with a friend. A healthy response could be encouraging them to talk about what happened, helping them to identify how they felt through that situation, and then discussing with them, helping them to brainstorm ways that they can resolve the conflict. Now, whether this is through an apology, setting boundaries, or simply understanding their friend's perspective. Another example might be that your child is frustrated with a difficult school assignment. Instead of saying, I can't do this, and letting them actually just believe that to be true, you can guide them to break the task down into smaller steps and then help them to celebrate each one as they complete this. This helps to reframe their thinking and turns what they were perceiving to be an overwhelming situation into something that was manageable. And that is then reinforcing their ability and their belief in their ability for problem solving. When children consistently apply healthy coping strategies, it has lasting benefits. They develop emotional intelligence, better problem-solving skills, and a strong sense of self-efficacy, the belief that they can handle whatever comes their way. Over time, they'll face new challenges with greater confidence, knowing that they have the inner resources to really be able to work through them. According to experts in child psychology, children who are supported in building healthy coping skills are more likely to grow into resilient adults with strong emotional regulation. One study from the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry found that children who used positive coping strategies had lower levels of stress and anxiety, even when facing significant life changes that they might experience. In my book, From Seed to Sapling, I talk about the different categories of healthy coping strategies. These can be categorized into 5 different types: active, relaxing, creative, social, and mindset. Active coping skills, these are ones that involve engaging in positive physical activity to move the body to be able to release that stress and tension. So these are things like going for a walk or a run, doing some yoga, dancing to a favorite song, having that dance party with them for 2 minutes, 3 minutes for that song, playing soccer with friends or family, or even simply just the act of squeezing a stress ball. The next one was relaxing coping skills. Now, these involve mindfulness activities focused on calming the nervous system. So these are things such as deep breathing, taking a bath, reading a book, practicing a guided meditation, or even simply just hugging the soft toy that they have loved and has been a security blanket for them. The third type are the creative coping skills. So these involve tapping into those creative outlets to be able to process and release emotion. So it's utilizing things like painting, playing an instrument, building Lego, singing, making up a new game, whatever it might be, to be able to process and release what they were feeling. Social coping skills are the next ones. As the name suggests, this is around engaging with others and connecting with people who are in our community to be able to then process and calm emotions. So this might be playing a game with a family member. It might be FaceTiming with a friend, playing with a pet, visiting the grandparents, and maybe even just sitting down with the parent and the child and reading a book together. Mindset coping skills were the 5th and last category there. These are about helping to shift the point of focus towards something positive and psychologically supportive. So these are things such as focusing on something that you're grateful for, looking at pictures of a happy memory, and really focusing on the feelings that were felt when that picture was being taken. It could be practicing self-compassion by reminding yourself that it's okay to make mistakes and that you're doing your best. It might be practicing a grounding exercise or self-awareness. So how you help your child to build these critical skills is a big question, and one that you might be sitting there going, I have no idea. Well, help them to create a coping toolkit. So you can help your child to identify activities that calm and recenter them. So we've just gone through a whole heap of different activities like drawing, playing outside, journaling, but consider those 5 different categories of coping strategies to be able to guide you through this process, and experiment across each of them to see what your child might naturally gravitate towards. Encourage them to turn to these particular activities that they start to enjoy and like when it is that they are feeling stressed. This is helping them to develop their coping toolkit. You might even like to create a journal or a written record of what their coping toolkit is to help them to have a list to refer to in those moments. Remember, building resilience through healthy coping is a lifelong skill. With your support, your child can develop the tools that they need to navigate challenges confidently and to maintain their mental well-being, not just now, but for years to come. Check out my website for more articles and videos to support enhancing your child's development.